right, so we're actually gonna start on our knees. So if you need extra padding on your knees, get a towel or fold your yoga mat in half. And have your knees a little bit wider than your hips. And you're gonna put your fingertips behind your head. And this is called the prisoner bow. You're kind of just gonna hinge and come all the way up. So it's like the same as if you were doing a deadlift, but we're in this position on our knees. So really stick those hips back. So imagine I have a band around your waist and I'm behind you and I'm pulling it. And keep your elbows open so you feel it in your chest also. So hopefully with each bow, your hips are going further back. And keep your chest out so your back stays nice and flat. Every move that we do, we're doing for a minute, so your body has plenty of time to get its best range of motion. You still got 20 more seconds here. So keep those elbows open, chest out. All right, good. Staying in this position, just twist. Come back to center. So it's just a little rotation. But the rotation is from the hips on up. So your hips should stay right where they are. And you're just rotating through the spine. Maybe your arms will start to get tired. So if they need a break, you can drop them for a couple seconds and then just bring it right back up. Even interlace your fingers behind you. It's less strenuous on the arms this way, but we still get to practice this rotation in the spine. A nice long neck. You're here for 15 more seconds. All right, keeping your knees where they are. Bring your hands down to the side. We're gonna go into a side bend. So you're just gonna reach, try to touch the ground, come back to center, do the same thing the other side. So if you're not able to touch the ground, you're just reaching as far as you can, and hopefully as the minute goes on, you'll be able to reach a little bit more. So once you feel you've reached your best range of motion, give yourself like a 2-second hold on each side, just to give the side body a chance to really release. Smidge, you're tearing up my mat. Stop. All right, still sticking with the side to side, but this time as you reach, bring that other arm over. Give yourself a 2-second hold, and then come back. Reset, do the same thing other side. Reach, and reach, and go back. Now let's do a 3-second hold. Really reaching that arm, relax your neck, other side. All right, now we're gonna go to a 5-second hold. Hold each side. Give yourself a 5 count as you hold. Close your eyes, keep your neck relaxed, and then go to the other side. So to help keep your neck relaxed, you can kind of look at the ground. We're here to release tension, not to create any, so make sure other body parts stay relaxed here. All right, now we're gonna go into a back bend worship. So what it looks like is this. So you're on your knees. Go ahead and fold forward. So you fold yourself in half. Put your forehead to the mat, and your hands are gonna come out down to your side. The top of your hands on the mat. So it's palms up. So you're gonna hold hold that. And now you're gonna come up and you're gonna push the back of your hands into the mat. You're just gonna come up like this, and then you're gonna reach and do a little bit of a back bend, and then come forward and fold forward into that worship position again. So it's like you're folding completely in half, and then you're opening up, reaching into a back bend. Yes, so take it nice and slow. Yeah, so when you're transitioning to that back bend, your hands are like dragging all the way up and then reaching. And then just keep going. So all of these moves here that we're doing in the beginning, the purpose is mobility of the spine. So that is our goal. All right, do like 2 more, then we're gonna move on. All right, and then your last one, try to give yourself that best reach as you do that back bend. And then when you're done, transition to all fours. Hands and knees under your hips, wrists under your shoulders. Let's get your weight nice and even so you don't have more weight on one side. Take your left hand, put it behind your head. And then your elbow is gonna rotate down. And then it's gonna rotate up. So rotating down, rotating up. And maybe you don't have a whole lot of rotation because you're stiff in your spine, which is why we're doing it. So no matter how big of a twist, you still want to do it. And if you even want, when you raise up to the top, you can extend your arm as you reach up. That might help you get a better rotation. And then bring your hand down and rotate. So remember, each move is for a minute, so you got plenty of time to work. And open. So I can definitely get more rotation when I open my arm up at the top. And when your elbow comes down to your hand, make sure you're like turning, so you want to try to get your elbow to touch your other arm. So we're getting a rotation on the bottom and at the top. Good, now before we go into the other side, give yourself a child's pose. Stick your hips up and back, reach your arms forward. All right, and then come right back up to all fours again, and we're just gonna do that rotation on the other side. So set yourself up, right hand behind your head, elbow rotates down and up. And that optional arm extension at the top. You still got 30 seconds. It might even feel a little bit like work in your stretch class, but it's all right. The spine needs this. All right, you got like 10 more seconds, and then you get to go into that child's pose. Open. All right, go ahead, sit back. Hips up, arms forward. All right. Come back to your hands and knees. Let's do cat-cows for a little bit. So tuck your hips under, tuck your chin under. Our mobility work, and then we will switch over. So whenever I do cat-cow, I really like to focus focus especially on the hips, making sure we get good movement in the hips, really tuck it under, and then really stick it out. And make sure you're coordinating your breath with each move. So inhale on one of the moves, and then exhale. And it really doesn't matter which one. Your breath could go either way. All right, still got 20 seconds here. Right foot, bring it up to your right hand, and you're just going to push forward. Want to feel it in the front of the hip. You're just going to hold it here, maybe even open that knee out to the side a little bit, but your foot stays there. You just want to open it maybe just a little, just to see how that feels. Open and close it. Hold it open. Rotation again for the spine. Hold it. All right, bring it back down. You're still here in this same position. Hold it here. If you want to take it a little bit lower, you can come down to your forearms if you can. And that's a lock. So don't feel you have to do that. You can still just hold it up here on your hands and still getting a great release front of your hips, okay? So you don't have to feel obligated to come down any deeper. All right, now bring that leg back. Go back into a child's pose. Air out the backside, tailbone up, cheeks out. Arms reach forward. Come back up to all fours. So we got to do the other side, right? So the other foot comes up to the hand, and then just push yourself forward. Again, going for the front side of your hips. And it's okay to move through this one. Go back and forth. Working so we can get a little bit deeper before we do a hold. Pushing forward. Now that knee, open it out to the side just a little bit. And now move through it. So I'm opening and closing that knee that's in the front. Open, close. All right, now just hold it. Now that hand that's next to that foot, reach for the ceiling, reach for the sky. Hold it. Go into a child's pose, hips up, arms forward. All right, I still want to hit the front of the hips. So you're gonna lay completely on your belly, and if this is too uncomfortable to lay on your belly, you can do this move standing up, okay? So if you're gonna be on the ground with me, take your left hand and put your forehead on top of your left hand, and then your right hand is gonna grab your right foot and you're just gonna pull it in. So you're gonna feel this in your quad, but I want you to pull that heel all the way to the cheek, and even think about creating more length in your quads so you can feel it in the front of your hip flexors, all right? and just hold. So if you didn't want to be on your belly, you could do this standing up and just holding one leg in. Okay, so really the trick here is really to think about making your quads longer. Like think about your knee pushing behind you so you can really feel it in the hips. All right, so just take nice deep breaths, holding it a little bit longer, letting the tension leave your body. All right, release, and let's just go to the other side. So your other arm comes in, place your forehead on the top of your hand, reach back and grab your foot, pull it all the way in, trying to get your heel to the booty. And again, creating length in that leg. Push the knee back. And nice deep breaths. All right, release that one. All right, roll over to your side. Make your way up to a seated position, kind of seated. You're gonna like lean back a little like this and have your knees bent like this. And sticking with the hips, we're gonna do swivel hips. So just drop your knees side to side. And if it feels more comfortable to lean all the way back like this, you can do that too. All right, now we're gonna get even deeper with some hip rotations. So come back up to on your knees. And let's start with your right leg extended out and your toe pointing forward. And let's just start with your hands in front of you. So kind of fall forward and then just sit the hips back a little bit. You go back and you reset. And each time trying to get back a little bit more. So the knee that's supporting you, your toes should be like curled under. That'll give you a more stable position and help you feel it a little bit better by keeping that foot active. All right, now hold. Your best hold, it doesn't have to be back too far. Let me give you a side view of what it looks like. Just holding back. So whatever leg is out, take that same arm and you're gonna like thread the needle and hold it, okay? So whatever leg is out, that arm is just gonna reach through that other side. And as you're reaching your supporting arm, you do drop down to that forearm. So it will look like this. So we got a lot going on here, but it should feel good. All right, hold it for 10 more seconds. All right, come on out of there. Still keeping this leg out. Now we're gonna do angled. So that hand that thread the needle, this time that hand's gonna like cross over. So you're like reaching across you, like a side body reach. And now try to sit back. And as you do, your forehead will like set on your bicep. And then this other supporting arm sinks back so you're on your forearm. So not only are you feeling it all around your hip area, now you're getting a side body release as well, and it feels a little bit different than the thread the needle. All right, good. Come on out of that. We got to go to the other side. So set that other leg out. So your toe is pointing forward, and this back foot, the toes are curled under. It'll give you better support. Hands in front of you, and let's start with just these little pushbacks, just a little bit. So side view here. Just going a little bit. It doesn't have to be a lot. And now just hold wherever that is. If you're able to go all the way back, go for it. If it's just a little bit hold, just hold it there. All right, so now that leg that's out, that same arm, now we're gonna do the thread the needle. So that arm is gonna thread through the other side, and you're gonna sit back. And as you do, kind of just like bow your head forward, because remember, we don't want tension in our neck. So just threading and reaching. All right, now come up, and that same arm that thread the needle, now we're gonna do that crossover, right? So cross it over, so it's over your other arm, and then sit back. So you're coming down to that other forearm, and your forehead is resting on your bicep. Great, 10 more seconds there. All right, good. Let's give our knees a break. Let's sit down. And let's sit crisscross applesauce. Make sure you're not on your tailbone. Cheeks are out. Sitting up nice and tall. Let's do a shoulder roll. We're just gonna do a little bit of an upper body release. I think we hit the hips pretty good. It should be looser. But I want to make sure you don't have any tension in your neck. All right, keep those shoulders back. Now draw your chin to your chest. And now we're going to draw a little smiley face with our chin. So go from one shoulder, bring it down, go to the next. Every time you get to your shoulder, even look back a little bit more. Make the little squiggle mark of the smiley face. All right, take your left hand, set it down at your side. Right arm is going to reach over, come all the way down to your forearm if you can. That reach. So elbow would be pointing to the sky, like this. And you're looking down at your mat. And go to the other side. Come all the way down to your forearm, reach all the way over. Point the elbow to the ceiling. You're looking down, so we're still getting tension out of our neck through this movement. And go to the other side again.